This video is sponsored by Squarespace. When it comes to pricing video projects, you can and sometimes should price them case by case. You look at the details and you figure it out and you give a price. But even then, it still helps to have a bit of like a foundation, a template to go off of. These are my prices, and then if you need to adjust them for this specific project, you do that, but you have this template. I'm gonna give you that here. A couple caveats. Pricing for any creative thing, but video included, is one of the most arbitrary things ever. It really is all about what will the market bear. That is sometimes helpful, sometimes not helpful. I've heard of people doing massive video projects for literally $200, and then I've worked on projects that were $150,000 budget projects. Like anywhere in between there. Just know, whatever I say here, if you disagree or you wanna make your prices more or maybe less, make it make sense to you and go for it. You'll also notice that most of this doesn't have to do with hourly rates, the time it takes you to edit something. It's based on the time of the finished video. So for me, hourly stuff doesn't work. It's not motivating for my brain, so that's not how I base any of my prices. Yeah. That's just where we're at. Last thing, I'm in Pennsylvania, in the United States. I feel like I have a grasp of this market. I did figure out a way to, based on cost of living, help you kind of adjust these numbers so they work wherever you are if you're within the United States. That's not, again, it's really more about the market. It's not so much about cost of living, so it's not gonna be fail-proof, but again, at least just a starting point, something to start at. That's at the very end. I'll tell you how to do that conversion. All right, let's go over this. Prices and then why it's important to include this stuff. Pre-production, something that hardly any freelancer ever charges for. This includes stuff like planning meetings, shot lists, scripts, coordination of crew and talent, location scouting. Like there's always planning, pre-production that goes into any project, big or small. So be charging for it. The price I have here is $285. This is based on kind of a solo freelancer. At least it's a line item. It's at least you get your client thinking about, okay, there's a bunch of work that goes into this video before we actually get to the shoot day. Moving down the list, when it comes to the actual shoot day, I generally like to shoot for 4 or 5 hours or less. For a lot of the type of stuff I do, it's like for an Instagram ad, Facebook video, something like that. I just feel like, I think it's called Parkinson's Law. If you give a client 8 or 9 hours, like it's just gonna fill up and you're gonna end up getting more stuff than what you need for the actual video that you're selling, which isn't always a bad thing. You can go back and re-edit that and kind of upsell. That's fine. I personally like to try to aim people for going for the half day rate. So starting point, half day shoot, 4-hour capture, $485. Moving up to a 9-hour capture, that's gonna be $985. If you have a client who's trying to save money, that's a way that they see that they can save money. The issue that you do sometimes run into with like half day shoot versus full day shoot is that you end up rushing yourself on a half day shoot, as opposed to like getting out of there, not feeling bored, like you just actually wanted to spend more time with the client and get the shots that you needed to get. More often than not, if you say, hey, this is gonna be no additional fee, but I'd like to stay for an extra hour just to get some of these pickups or something like that, like they're just gonna be thrilled that you're willing to spend more time with them and not charge more money. So don't shoot yourself in the foot. Advocate for a full day shoot if a full day shoot is what is needed. I generally like to try to guide clients toward getting it all done in a half day. Editing was something that it took us, when I had my video production company, it took us a long time to really figure out how to price editing. An easy way to do it, which has never worked for me, is hourly. It's like your hourly rate is $100 an hour, and however long it takes you to edit this video, that's what you bill for. I always ended up editing it in way less time than what I had expected, and then not making as much money as I felt like I needed to have made for that video. The way I break it down now is the level of complexity of the edit and then how long the finished edited piece is. Basic edit, up to 3 minutes long. So this is something like a testimonial, maybe an interview with just 2 shots or something like that. Like really just very basic. You're not really cutting to music. You're not doing sound design. There's very limited or no B-roll. Like literally you set up your camera and now you're gonna give them this footage and it needs some editing. That's a basic edit. Up to 3 minutes in length, that's $200. Similar thing, basic edit, up to 10 minutes, like something more podcasty or something, just longer form. Up to 10 minutes, that's $485. Complex edit, this is something like, has a lot of edits, you're cutting to music, there's a lot of B-roll, like maybe you're telling a story, a commercial. Complex edit, up to 30 seconds, $385. Again, solo content creator, get in, get out, make something cool, $385. You're not pricing yourself out of anybody. Anybody can pay that amount of money for a 30-second edit. Just remember, there are people paying $30,000 for a 30-second edit. $385 is nothing. Any business, nonprofit, anything can and should pay a minimum of $385 for the edit of a 30-second commercial or spot. As I said, Squarespace is the sponsor of this video. Great place to put your portfolio, to put your pricing. Great for SEO. People are always searching for, Harrisburg, PA video prices. Squarespace is fantastic. You're a video creator, you don't need to know how to be a web designer. You pick a template, these templates are fantastic. You can integrate anything you want into it. Contact page, something to grab people's emails to build an email list. Your portfolio looks fantastic. Like, you look professional when you use a Squarespace website. You can sell products and services there. You can buy your domains through Squarespace. It's an all-in-one. It's an all-in-one website building platform. If you want to try it out, go to squarespace.com/CodyWarner to get a free trial. And then when you're ready to buy, use the code CodyWarner to get 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace, thanks again. Complex edit up to 1 minute long is going to be $585. Complex edit up to 2 minutes long is going to be $985. And then a complex edit up to 4 minutes long is going to be $1,575. Like I said, this is a place for you to start. You can copy these prices verbatim if you want to. If you're in a different area in the United States than I am, you can use this cost of living index to help you figure out kind of what your base prices should be based on these base prices. So what you're gonna wanna do is click on your state, and that's gonna give you one of these index numbers. So let's say you're in New York, the cost of living index there is 139.1. Write that down. And then you're gonna divide your number by my number, which is 101.7. And that's gonna give you a number. In this case, it would be 1.3677. Now, just take that number and multiply it by all of my prices. So if you're in New York, you're gonna take my half-day shoot number, which is 485, multiply it by that number, 1.3677, and that's gonna give you your half-day rate, which is $663. Based on cost of living. Again, it's more about what the market will bear. Whatever you think is gonna work, by all means charge that. Go out there and get that money, all right? Let's get this thing.